To me, there's nothing that melts away stress more than a free-flowing movement, really stretching the body and continually moving to just get out of your own head. This is the flow that I personally like to do most often, a variation off this. It's quick, it's effective, and it's efficient. So join me on the mat. So we'll get started at the top of the mat in mountain pose, feet together or hip distance apart, hands at heart center. Start with a couple deep breaths just to get centered on the mat, prepare to get started. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let that out. On an inhale, lift tall, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward. Just shake it out here for a moment. Just doing our first forward fold of class, just trying to get those kinks out. Loosen up the legs, let gravity allow your body to hang heavy. Maybe do ragdoll, sway from side to side. I also like to take one hand just under my face, bend the knee, and open up to the opposite side as your bent knee. And then switch that out. And then plant the hands, step back to plank, and then lower all the way down. Rest your chin on the mat, and we're just going to do a baby cobra here. Inhaling, lift the chest up. Tops of the feet are on the mat. On another inhale, maybe you press further through the hands. And release that back down to the mat. Maybe you rest your cheek on the mat this time. Shake the hips out. And then stretch your arms in front of you. You might have to adjust. And on an inhale, everything goes up. Only the hip bones on the mat. Look up, arms up, legs up. Strong, straight arms and legs. Inhale, lift 1 inch higher. Exhale, release, other cheek on the mat. Maybe you windshield wiper the legs. Release them down, tuck the toes, press up in one piece to plank, and press back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, pedal it out, get comfortable here in down dog. Then energetically press those heels down toward the mat, tilting the tailbone slightly up, shaking the head no and yes. Release the tension. Maybe you wag your hips from side to side. Again, this is all about finding the freedom to move. And take 3-legged dog. So just raise one leg up, loosening up the body, getting out of your head and into your body. Releasing the thoughts that are holding you back. Other leg, lift up straight. Option to stay square, finding the spot that feels good. Maybe you hold that. Maybe you do some hip circles. Mine just crackled a little bit, so get those snap, crackle, pops out. And then coming back down, look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up to standing. On the exhale, we're just going to take an easy side bend off to the right and back through center, over to the left. And then I'm just going to take you all the way around the world. So we're going to widen our feet a little bit, drop off to one side, hands stay in generally the same position, sweeping across the ground, and then coming up and around, really just taking any arm movement that feels good, but we're just going all the way around, making a big circle, windmilling up, and then sweeping the arms down. To me, this just feels really good to just get big. And sweeping down. Coming through goddess, pulling the arms in and up to cactus, sinking deep, maybe a couple bounces, and then stretching up to star and back down to goddess. A couple times here, into star, exhale down goddess, inhale to star, holding goddess for a moment. Keep those arms cactus, pressing the elbows back, nice release in the chest. Maybe you lift one heel and then the other. Maybe you lift both and hold. Breathing. Smiling if you want to. And release that up. And one more. Fold forward, walk forward, and then step back to plank. Lower down all the way or halfway chaturanga, elbows hug in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, footsteps forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, drop the opposite arm down. Really pull that arm back so you get a deeper stretch. And then plant the hands, step back, flow, or meet me in downward facing dog. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Directly over to the left side, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Step it through, up to crescent lunge, and then down, drop the opposite arm to the mat. Lift the other arm up and back. If you want a deeper chest stretch, drop that hand and go through a flow or just directly back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And then sweep the arms, sink low, chair pose, hips sink low, chest lifts. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Fold forward. Step or hop back to plank and go to down dog or flow with me. Chaturanga. Up dog to down dog. Building some heat here. Three-legged dog. Lift one leg. Knee to nose. Lift the leg back up. Three-legged dog. Knee to nose. One more time. Three-legged dog. Knee to nose and step it through between the hands. Inhale. This time come up two straight legs. On an exhale, we're going to go into some lunges. So once again, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lunge back. Sweep the arms, airplane arms. Lunge. 2. Sweep the arms as you lunge. 3, 4, 5. Come back up, crescent lunge. And just switch sides. Through plank, switch sides. Inhale, come up two straight legs. Arms, biceps by the ears. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, bend the knees, airplane arms. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Hands down, step back, plank, and hold. From here, you're going to go right knee to right elbow, step it back. Left knee to left elbow, step it back. Step it back. Knee to nose, step it back. Knee to nose, step it back. Crisscross. Opposite elbow to opposite knee, step back. Opposite elbow to opposite knee, step back. Can you guess where we're going? Run it out, mountain climbers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release, child's pose. Deep breath in. Let it go. And back up, downward facing dog. This time, look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, sweep the arms, chair pose. This time, go back to chair, airplane arms. Crown of the head's going forward, gaze slightly forward, hips back, palms face down. Drinking bird, can you lift the heels up? Whew. This one burns. Hold. And release, forward fold. Maybe you separate the feet a little bit wider. Clasp the hands, straighten the arms. Allow the arms to fall back. And release the hands back. And go through a flow or meet me in down dog. Lower down chaturanga if you're flowing. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Reset. And then inhale up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, opposite elbow to opposite knee. When you're there, straighten that leg all the way through. So we're in fallen star, and slowly open that top arm, lift up through the hips. So we're in a lifted position, Hand comes up. Maybe you gaze back at that top arm. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Hips come low, hovering off the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, low. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, lift. 2 more. Exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, lift. Drop the hand. Bring that leg through and back up to three-legged dog. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, step that foot between the hands. Inhale, coming up to crescent lunge, high in the back foot. Exhale, dial that back foot down. Open up, warrior two. And then we're just going to flow here. So inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten, lift the arms. Exhale, bend deeply. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, and then hold your strong warrior. Deep bend in the front knee. Strong arms. Gaze over the front middle finger. Inhale, lift the chest. Shift forward. Flip the front palm. Exhale, go back, reverse warrior. Hand to the calf or to the upper thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go deeper. And then going forward to half moon. Shifting weight on the front leg. I'm going to adjust here. And then allowing that back leg to lift up. Top arm to the hip. You can allow a bend in the front knee as we lower down. A block would be really handy here. Find your steady mind. Notice what happens when you find a challenge. You want to give up or stick with it. Top arm shoots up to the ceiling. Back leg shoots toward the back wall. Chest and hips are open to the side of the room. Inhale to lift. Exhale to let it go. Step back plank. Lower down half layer all the way. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Deep breath in and out to release that and reset. And then inhale the left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift up, three-legged dog. Exhale, cross over opposite elbow to opposite knee. So we're going to go into that fallen star position. So open up. I'm going to actually flip around so you can see what I'm doing. So we're in opposite elbow, opposite knee. We kick the foot out and then we peel open and lift the top arm up like you have a string. Your arm is being pulled up by a string and your hip bone being pulled up by a string. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower the hips, hovering off the ground. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Hold. Plant both hands down on the mat. Sweep that leg that's crossed and lift it up. For me, it's the left. Inhale. Exhale, step the foot through between the hands. Inhale, come up to high crescent. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Just flowing here. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to shift forward, flip the front palm. Exhale, sweeping up and back, reverse warrior. Keeping that deep bend in the front knee, lifting up. Exhale, going back. You should really be feeling this by now. Deep breath in. That stress just melting away. That problem that you had, not so big, is it? Warrior two. Shift forward. We're going to go into a half moon. Back hand on the hip. Weight in the front leg. You may have to readjust like I am. Shifting the weight into the front leg. You can have a slight bend in that front knee. Shifting the weight forward. Front hand can find a block or the mat. Body peels open to the side wall. Oof, see, I fell, but I'm just going to get back into it. Again, body peels open. Any version, any step in this process is fine. If you just want to lift that back leg 1 inch off the mat and toy with that, that's good enough. Inhale to lift and open the chest. One more breath. Exhale, let that go. I'm going to flip back. step back, lower down halfway or all the way, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one final push before we wind down and stretch. So for this final flow, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to press forward to plank. We're going to take one hand, center it underneath our face, and spiral open to a side plank. So you can stack the feet on top of one another, or if you need to, you can drop that bottom knee on the mat and modify this way. If you're with me in side plank, you're going to hold, lifted through the hips, open arm, lifting up to the ceiling, breathing here. Then you're going to slightly lift that top leg if you can. Option, just stay inside plank. If you're in the modified version, you can always just do some elbow to knee. But if you're with me here, lift that top leg and then slightly bring the knee in and then place the foot behind that top foot, behind that front leg. Lift up through the hips and then press back through the fingertips and find yourself in Wild Thing. So inhale, get long. Exhale, press up through the hips. Deep breath in and deep breath out. You can get into this pose a lot of ways, but I find this way to be not only the easiest, but kind of the most fun, because from here, you can go back to a plank and then press back to child's pose, or we can find ourselves in Wild Thing and come back the way we came, bring that top leg up and bent, and then maybe all the way up to the hand, and we find ourselves in a crescent twist here. We did this pose earlier, but we got into it much differently. From here, we're going to come up to a high crescent, and then we're going to come up to standing on that same leg. So my right leg is up in the air, and my left leg is straight and strong. I'm going to lift my arms and challenge to go back to Warrior 3. The arms are long, biceps by the ears. You can also have your arms in airplane behind you. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head, shoulders back, palms face down. And then let the hands go. Reach the mat. Standing split. Inhale to get long. Exhale, curtsy lunge. Top knee comes behind the bottom, bending both knees. Inhale, both legs straighten, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy. Inhale, 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 standing splits. And then step or hop back. Maybe you go to a three-legged plank, and then option for a three-legged vinyasa. I flip over to the other side so I can keep my face to you. On an inhale, shift forward to plank, placing the opposite hand under the face and opening up to a side plank, staying lifted, lifting up through the fingertips. Hips are not collapsing down. Option for staying here. The modification, once again, is dropping that bottom knee, lifting the leg. You can curl in here as well. Play around there. But if you're sticking with me, let's go into a side plank. Lifting up tall. Slightly lifting that top leg up, bending it, pressing it back onto the floor behind that front leg, that bottom leg. Inhale to lift the hips tall, Wild Thing. Hands can go back behind your head. Really just feeling that release. I find a lot of freedom in this pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Really just releasing, finding a stretch the side, the back. An option to go back through side plank and then find a crescent lunge, or challenge to keep that top leg lifted and bent, swinging it all the way up to meet the hand, and then keeping that top arm floated high to the sky. Open the chest, gaze up, breathe deeply. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, biceps by the ears, crescent lunge. And then you might have to take a couple steps here, or maybe you can sweep the arms back as you press forward. Single leg, bent knee. Inhale to lift up through the crown of the head. Lift the arms up, and on an exhale, go forward. Warrior three. I like airplane arms in this position. Inhale, grow long through the crown of the head and the back toes. And on an exhale, hands meet the mat. Let it all go. It's funny how this feels like a release. Standing splits. Inhale to get really long, deeper split. Exhale, bend the back knee behind the front knee. So both knees bend, curtsy squat. Inhale, straighten back up, standing splits. Exhale, curtsy lunge. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, curtsy. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, curtsy. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, curtsy. Inhale, stretch. And exhale to just let it go. Hang heavy for a moment, shaking it out, slowing it down. I like to shake my hips a little bit and then just simply squat. Malasana. This is one of my personal favorites. So you just want to sink your hips as low as you can get them. Feet going out, knees deeply bent. Option to bring your hands to prayer. Elbows push the legs back to get an even deeper stretch. Deep breath in, letting everything go. We hold so much tension in our hips that this just feels like that tension just melts away somehow. Sometimes just envisioning it and telling yourself it's going away helps. Inhale, the chest lifts and the spine gets long. Then we're going to open up. One hand comes down, the other comes up for an open twist in Malasana. And then we're going to bring that arm down and reverse it. And then back down. I'm going to just do one more challenge because we're getting pretty advanced here today. Bird of Paradise. So hands come down. If this is in your practice, go into it. But I'm going to take you through slowly. Stop at any point where it feels uncomfortable. So you're going to have your hands forward. Bring one hand behind one leg. So same arm, same leg. So arm comes behind the leg. And I just like to scoot my foot forward and kind of kickstand that foot. Then you're going to bring one arm back behind your back and then reaching the other arm back behind my back, clasping the hands. So I'm holding my hands, pressing into that grounded left foot for me, coming up to a kickstand on the right toes, slowly lifting the chest, gazing down still, lifting the chest a little more. I go kind of in phases, a little more. And then getting a long spine here. Floating leg is still bent, hanging heavy. And the more I lift my chest, the more my body just kind of wants to straighten that top leg. Strong clasp through the hands, steady gaze on something unmoving. Micro bend in the bottom knee. Inhale to lift tall. Exhale, coming down the same way we came into it, letting the top leg bend and then meet the earth. Releasing the arms, shaking it out a little bit, coming back into it on the other side. Bring that other hand behind the leg that's going to float, kickstanding it, and getting really solid through the foundation of the other foot. And then bringing that arm that's looping under the kickstand leg back behind my back, palm face up, other arm clasping it. Really strong clasp behind your back because that's going to help lock that leg in. And you're going to just lift the chest and get that standing leg a little bit straighter as we lift up, open broad through the chest, tall through the crown of the head, long through the spine. The last step here is to just try and straighten the top leg and use the broad shoulders to press that leg back and then come out the way you came in. You can hold for longer if you want, but I like to just say a quick hello to that pose and then say goodbye. All right, we're going to go through one final vinyasa. So step back into a plank, shift forward, lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, rinsing everything out here. Lifting one leg, final three-legged dog, and stepping it through. Pigeon pose. We're just going to end on pigeon both sides. So the knee is out to the side, toes going across so that shin is parallel or slightly less than parallel to the front of the mat, lifting tall through the chest and the crown of the head, folding forward. Breathing for a couple deep breaths here. Release, press through the last down dog of class, last three-legged dog of class. Knee comes out to the side, toes to the other side, shin close to parallel to the front of the mat. Lift through the chest to fold over. Pigeon pose. Deep release of the hips. Giving yourself a final stretch here to just really absorb all the work you did today. Feel how different you feel now compared to the beginning of class. You let the thoughts and the stress just kind of melt off to the side. Just be aware of your body. Thank your body for all it did for you today. As we release, one final stretch here. Soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, long spine, and just melt forward. And release. Hopefully that helps you get through the rest of your day with just a little more calm and clarity.